This is a demonstration of using SAS with CVS Suite to track and control changes to SAS Studies. So we've got a basic workflow that we've defined here, and step one is we need to create a study. Now I've cheated a little bit here and prepared one in advance. Let's have a switch over and have a look at that. I've created two studies with a couple of very simple components, a DML and a raw component for each, with some basic information about what the study involves, and the status of the study is open so that we can actually make changes. So we've got some work assigned to us, and we now need to reserve a file to work on. So in our process that we've defined here, only one person at a time can work on a particular part of the study. One person might be working on the main production program while someone else is working on the validation, but any individual file can only have one person at a time working on it. That's just the rule we've set up here. You could set up a different rule. So in order to work on the file, which is currently locked, I need to reserve it. I just use the right-click menu in Windows Explorer, a couple of clicks and it's done. Green tick tells me that I'm now able to move on to stage 3 of the process, which is to actually make some changes and then commit them back to the repository. We're going to work through stage 2 and 3 several times because this is what your average SAS user is going to be working on day to day. Reserving files, making changes, committing them back to the server. You might want to do this several times a day, you might want to do it just once a week. But my goal here is to make it clear just how easy it is. I'm not going to make any real functional changes here. I'm no SAS expert, so I'm just using Notepad. We can see that once I've changed a file, it changes from green to orange. So we know that it's been changed. So now I want to commit that, as can be seen in the workflow diagram. Again, it's just a right click. Now here we want to provide a bit more information. We want to actually link this change to the job, but let's actually make it a little bit more complex and reserve another file. So we're actually making two changes at once. Otherwise it's a bit simple. Again, 2 clicks and we've got another file reserved with a green tick. Make a few changes. File goes orange so that I can see that it's been changed. Now if I commit at the directory level, I can see all of the files that have changed. So I don't have to go hunting for them. The product actually shows me what's changed, and all I need to do is type in the name of the study. I don't need to remember any fancy numbers here, and the software will automatically map that to the correct job in Bugzilla. I'm using Bugzilla in my demo here. It's a nice open system which can be enhanced and modified to your requirements. But you can also use Jira, Mantis, lots of other QA Center. So, are we ready to review this yet? Well, let's have a look at the job. So, we don't need to go into the repository itself to see who changed what and when. It's all detailed there for us on the job page, in this case in Bugzilla, and we can drill right in and see the changes. And I think having a look at those changes, that's probably not enough. So we're going to go around our process one more time. Actually, we might go around it a couple of times, demonstrate a couple more things here. So back to step 2, reserve a file. This time I might use some of the more advanced features of the defect tracking integration. Here we can see in the server settings that you can use all sorts of messages in the commit stage to do things to that job. So let's make another simple change. Reserve the file, 2 clicks, open it in Notepad or SAS or whatever you like, make some changes, commit those changes. I can recall my last comment. I don't need any of those other options set, so I'm just going to disable them. 2 clicks and we're done. Locked again. Going to make another change. Just trying to really point out here how simple and easy this workflow is, and yet it does track all of the changes, both in your versioning repository and in your job management tool or your defect tracking tool. This time, again, I pick the last comment, untick those options, and I'm going to say that it's now fixed, it's now completed, and that will automatically update the job. Here we go, refresh that screen. We can now see all those changes and the status is marked as fixed. So the next stage of our process is, if it's ready for review, we promote it to the reviewed deliverable stage. And after that, it goes through our release management procedure. Might go out to the customer. First of all, let's have a look at the changes. We can see them all listed there, along with the name of the study that they're a part of. So promoting, it's just a matter of going to that shared drive. Now, a QA person might do this, or someone with the rights to do a promote, or maybe every developer has the rights to do a promote. We have a promote option and a merge option. The merge option is a little bit simpler, so I'm going to use it here. And since we just want to promote everything, I don't need to restrict it to a particular study. There we go. It automatically picks up all of those changes. Just to be sure that they are really the changes that I want, because I'm a cautious sort of person, I'm going to use the diff option here, again on the right-click menu, just to do a quick side-by-side comparison. Yep, they really are the changes that I wanted to see there. Finally, I commit them. I can either link the promoted change to the same study, or I might have a different job in the tracking system just for tracking the promotes. That's up to you. Again, it's all part of your process, all customizable. And the promote's completed. Just a few clicks and it's done. We can confirm what it's done by looking at the revision graph. We can see that we made 4 changes and then we promoted it up to the review level.